In today's video, we are taking a slight tangent to the usual luxury content that I cover on this channel, and I guess you could say it's not too much of a far stretch from the usual content that I create here, because today's video is about sneakers. And sometimes I often think with the price tag some of these sneakers demand, they're pretty much luxury anyway. And if you've been watching some of my videos over time, I've covered sneakers that I've bought in my collection, some of which are the high-end designers like the Chanels, etc., but also brands that are really hard and sought after like Yeezys. So I wanted to make a quick video today about some of the sneakers that I bought just recently. They've just arrived today, actually. I bought them a few days ago, and I guess it's quite timely at the time of filming that it's coming up to be a few events. So Valentine's Day, Chinese New Year. One of the shoes I actually bought is in line with one of these events, and they are from Nike, or Nike as some people call it. But I'm going to say Nike for the sake of this video, and I'm also going to say sneakers for the sake of this video because I'm from the UK and we usually say trainers, but I know a lot of you guys out there who watch me are from the US / I think a lot of the demographic will say sneakers and use the term of like sneakerhead and things like that. I personally do find myself to be quite a sneakerhead. I know sometimes it doesn't look like it because I talk a lot about bags and other types of shoes and heels. I'm a sneaker addict, and this is something I feel like is kept quite on the DL. I think I've reined it in for this channel. We've got a pair of Nike Air Maxes and we've also got a pair of Jordans. What I'll do is I'll actually start off by talking about how I got these shoes, because these shoes aren't just something that you can just get by logging onto the website or the app and just buying them whenever you want. These are very limited edition. They're very hard to find. In fact, they sell out within minutes, so I was very, very lucky, and this was my first time getting shoes on Nike, like flat out actually. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how I got it, and also for this particular pair of shoes I got a 10% discount. So I'm going to tell you how I got that exactly and just share with you some tips on how to get success on the Nike app. First, I think it might be useful to give you guys a bit of background as to how and why I got them. So like I mentioned, I love sneakers, I love collecting them. I am no stranger to queuing physically or online, to raffles and competitions. Trust me, anything that you can think of, I've probably done it when it's come to buying hard to find and rare sneakers. And I'm by no means like a reseller or anything like that. And I don't have bots that work for me to find these things. I'm just somebody who likes to buy sneakers and enjoy them myself. And I don't really want to pay over retail for them. Lord knows that I have done in the past, and that's been really, really stupid. Anyway, so I was doing my usual routine scroll on Instagram and I came across a collection that Nike just released, or were going to in the imminent couple of days, for Valentine's Day. And obviously it just spoke to me. I just loved the colours, I just loved everything about it, and of course, it being for Valentine's Day, I just wanted to buy myself a little bit of something. Usually I'm quite late to the party with regard to these kind of releases, these limited edition releases. I always find myself on the back end of when the drop has literally just happened, and then I don't really want to pay the reseller price. I kind of just leave it and see if I can get to the next one. But this particular collection, I realised I had 2 days to prepare, and what I did is I researched frantically like a mad woman how I was going to be able to get these shoes. And it just so happens Nike only releases these really limited drops on their sneakers app, or it's spelt without all the vowels, so it's like SNKRS. And I've never used it before, and I know that these kind of things, if it's anything like the Adidas app to get Yeezys, it's going to be a trial. There are going to be hoops you need to jump. So anyways, I realise I've been talking a lot without actually showing you anything, and I know you're probably dying to see the Valentine's shoes if you haven't seen them already. These sold out within, I think, the first 5 minutes of release, and I think these shoes are usually on the Nike app. They're always released at 8 AM for some reason. I'm not sure, maybe if the app is just UK or if it's for the rest of the world, so maybe that's why they start early. But it requires a little bit of early wake up, but that's fine, that's fine. And I got the Air Maxes actually. I don't think I own that many Nikes. In fact, I think I only own 3 in my lifetime actually. I buy a lot of Adidas shoes, so this is very exciting. I did also try and get the lows, the Air Force One lows, in the Valentines collection as well, but I didn't have any luck in that. But I think it's probably fate or something, because I don't have Air Maxes, whereas I do for Air Force Ones, and I could probably know my DIY habits. If you watched any of those videos, I could probably paint myself a very similar pair for a very cheap price, so not too bothered. But anyway, here are the shoes. Isn't she a thing of beauty? And here are the red laces. So let me just stuff that back in. Let me give you guys a good look at the shoe. These are, I guess, quite special because not only do you have a mixture of suede and leathers and obviously the colours being Valentine's, but you also have here a little popper here. Let me just make sure that it's focusing, yeah. And that says obviously Nike Air, and then if you open it, you've got a little message inside, and that reads, me plus AM90, so Air Max 90s equals true love. Isn't that so? And I think the message, if I remember correctly from the promo pages, I think this pair is different. So let me just check. Yeah, it says AM90 forever, and that's not focusing. Why are you not focusing? Here we go. Look at that. I got these just for reference in a UK size 5. I find sneakers, you want a little bit of room. So I'm usually like a UK 4.5 or 5. I like to give myself a little bit of extra breathing space. I must say, I haven't really looked at Air Maxes before in terms of adding them to my collection. I never really found the colour schemes to be all that enticing to me, and the look of it, I much prefer the Air Force Ones in comparison. But I do enjoy this. It's not super girly. It's got a lot of red, which I think for the Chinese New Year festivities is very apt. I love that. And I love the little tab details as well. Plus, I like a little bit of heel, actually. I think from a practical standpoint, a little bit of hidden heel, you know, it's quite nice. Let me just put these to the side as a little bit of decoration while I chat to you guys. So just as a quick reference, I bought this particular pair for £124.95. I'm not sure if that's standard to the Air Maxes. I would imagine they're slightly more expensive than they are usually. I will also tell you in a bit how I managed to get these for a bit of a discount, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, so on the sneakers app, let me just quickly go through the tips I used. So I've got 3 main tips if you guys are interested in getting future drops on there, because they really are quite diligent in terms of new releases. So the first tip that I have for you guys, if you want to secure a pair of very sought after sneakers on the app, is to prepare early. Now, this sounds really obvious, but I think when it comes to filling out information on the app, people do that last minute and don't anticipate just how long it takes for you to fill everything out. And some apps, not just withstanding the sneakers app, but some apps refrain you potentially from filling in stuff just before, or maybe 15 minutes before the shoes are actually going to launch on their site or on their app. So I would always recommend, if you do have foresight over the shoes that you want, it like a few days beforehand, go and create an account, go and sign up for whatever loyalty schemes. Usually they're free, of course, so no skin off your back if you sign up early. You'll probably also get things like free shipping, and then go in and fill in your details like your billing address, your shipping address, your payment information as well. That speeds up the process a lot, and I found that actually when I was checking out then for getting these shoes, because they don't secure them straight up front for you, you kind of go into like a pending phase, and then I guess they randomly allocate potentially or do it according to speed. But obviously it speeds up your transaction a lot better, and it increases your odds of getting the shoes. If you've already filled in and pre-populated all the information, you just go tick tick tick, whatever size that you want, etc., confirm the details, and then boom, you're done. So I found doing that a couple of days before gave me a lot of time to familiarise myself with the app, how it works, also with keeping on track with the notifications for when the drops were going to release. And I know some people will say, in terms of the payment specific aspect, you know, you should use PayPal. Apparently that's the preferred option. I tried using my American Express, and that was fine actually. So I'm not entirely sure if Nike does have a preference for PayPal, because I secured 2 out of the 3 pairs that I wanted. So I think it was fine, but that might just be something to be aware of. And with that in mind, then I would recommend that you potentially add 2 different payment methods. into the app or the website just to cover yourself if there's an issue just during checkout. And then the second tip that I have, which hopefully would also make quite a lot of sense, is have 2 phones where necessary, or use 2 different platforms if it's not just on an app that they're selling the particular shoes on. I have 2 phones. I have a personal phone and a work phone, and obviously they can be on different networks. I have got Wi-Fi, but I can also use my own network. So what ended up happening is I had 2 different accounts. I also put in 2 different addresses. If you have friends or family that aren't really into this kind of stuff but will be happy for you to use that information, definitely try that out. I think that's quite helpful. And so obviously that means it doesn't get flagged as like being a bot or anything like that. And then I tried doing it on both. I tried checking out, etc. on both. Tried different sizes as well, just to vary it up so it wasn't so much demand on one size. To increase your chances, that might just be something that you look at, as well as also in the future for raffles and things like that. Could also be helpful to have 2 phones or 2 different people or multiple people in your family or friendship circle. Obviously, don't commit things like fraud and stuff like that. I'm not encouraging that at all. And then the final tip, which I guess kind of combines with the other 2 that I talked about, is know what you want early and plan for contingency. So what I mean by that is in terms of sizing, what sizes you prefer to have and what other sizes would you be willing to settle for. You know, potentially half sizes if the retailer offers that, because that could still work for you in terms of like fit. I've bought shoes, especially Yeezys actually. I've bought Yeezys that are like 4.5 to size 6. And if you have prior experience with the shoe fitting smaller or bigger, definitely take that into consideration. Because that way you may find that you actually allow yourself a bit of leeway for like 1 full size. So basically 2 half sizes if you don't get the size that you wanted in the first place. So definitely know what you want up front and do not let the first like 2 minutes of the shoe being launched be the time that you decide what you want, because chances are you're probably not going to get it by that point. So anyway, those are the big 3 things that helped a lot. And do you know what I'll do? I will show you guys the Jordans that I got, which aren't for me, they'll be a gift. But I guess because this video is predominantly about this pair of shoes, I'll just show you this just for something a little bit different, because I got these also at the same time. And these are a pair of, I think these are like the retro Air Jordans. Yeah, the Air Jordans 5. So the way the app works, I'm sorry I don't have screen grabs for this because I was too busy trying frantically to buy the shoes. But what you end up doing is I think you can heart or select certain items that you want to be notified about, and then it's very quick. A button just shows immediately at 8 o'clock sharp. You go in, you pick the size, etc., and then the order pens to see if you've actually got it. And then I just scrolled down the app to look at the other pairs of shoes that I wanted, did the same. And this pair of shoes happened to also be released at the same time. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, in the same drop that they released the Valentines collection, they also released like 5 other pairs of shoes, which were totally unrelated. So, you know, if you're looking for not necessarily Valentine's Day inspiration gifts, but just in the future for good presents, I guess, then keep an eye out on the Nike releases. So these are the Air Jordans, and I will just quickly show you guys what they look like. Let's just do a little rotation. These are so much harder to rotate, by the way, and these are hurting my arms. So not like an arm workout. I think you cannot go wrong with a classic black pair of shoes, can you? For guys, and these look very, very weatherproof as well. And they've got a nice subtle little heel there, little bit of a Air Max type of heel, which I think is quite nice. And I do like the little clear viewing panel. I'm not sure if that's the way you talk about them. And it's also got Jumpman on the bottom. And as a side note, when I was younger, I loved basketball so much. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were the duo that were my idols. I loved Michael Jordan a lot. I watched all of his games when he was in the Chicago Bulls. So this might seem like totally random information and maybe out of character, but there is a reason I love Michael Jordan a lot. These ones were a lot more expensive, I want to say, which is why I kind of feel like these shoes fit the luxury category. So I'm just going to check my laptop real quick. These were £164.95. A weird pricing. I'm not sure why they go for the £4.95 extra. I always buy these in like a size UK 10 because my family usually are like size 10 and it's quite a fail-safe shoe size to get. And also if it doesn't work out and no one in my life wants them, then I'll sell them, because that wouldn't be very hard to sell a UK size 10. It's quite like a like an average size, I think, for guys. But I love how classic these are. I totally would have got them for myself, but the smaller size that they make in these, which personally I find quite discriminatory, because I might want to wear them and I'm a UK size 5, but they made them in like a starting size 6, which Yeezys work because they're very tight fitting, but these, I feel like you do not want to get them too big, like especially around the kind of ankle area. They would just be like swinging around, and no one likes that kind of vibe, do they? I'm gonna try and see if I can get a pair of Jumpmans for myself. Very, very hard though, because they don't really make, like I said, women's sizes, but I will try my darndest to get them because there are so many other upcoming releases on the SNKRS app. So let me just put these back here, just a bit of additional decoration. Success, I think, overall. I got these 2 out of the 3 that I wanted, the third being the Air Force Ones, like I mentioned, but to be honest, I'm happy with these, and I couldn't be more grateful for the fact that I managed to get them on the same account, and they got shipped at the same time, which is quite convenient, so I could do a bit of quality control and inspection. And this is actually a really good segue to how I managed to get this particular pair of shoes for a discount, because it was during my quality assurance that I found a few defects, and I'm not sure that this is something that you guys will know about, and I really hope this is something that does not get abused. And I will also, side note, have a very detailed video about how I managed to get luxury items for cheap or at a discounted price, so definitely stay tuned for that. That will be coming up. So basically what ended up happening with this particular pair of shoes is that, I mean, you'll probably not see it from this far away, but I will show you up close, is when I received these, I noticed there was a few defects which are not that common in these shoes. Let me just quickly show you a few examples. So on the tick, you've got little things here like the leather's out of place, and you've also got scuffings here. Then there was a big black marking on the other side, which was hideous, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell is that? I'm not entirely sure what that is. It looks like someone's just put like a grubby hand on it or something, and it's definitely not me, by the way. Let me clarify, that it was not me. When I rub it, I can't even rub it off, so I'm probably gonna have to use my paints kit, my Angelus paints kit, to paint over that, so it should be an easy fix. And then you've got just like random stuff here just poking out. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Again, looks to be like glue, or it just came off. That's a bit gross. And then I had like random stuff like on the ticks, you've got like scuffings here on the leather, and then on this particular pair, I think that was the biggest mark of all. It is basically this hideous, I'm not entirely sure what it is, like a little beard that's produced itself here. It's like loads of threads that have come out, I guess, from the stitching on the shoes. Yeah, there's also just random other quality things, like you've got here, I guess, like some glue or whatever. Obviously, it being not really up to scratch for my particular pair, I'm not sure about other pairs out there. They gave me a discretionary discount, so I'm not sure that this will work for everybody, and like I mentioned, do not abuse this or scuff your shoes in the event you think you're gonna get a discount, because that might not be the case. I was also very, very quick in terms of like within the hour, half hour, in fact, potentially, that I got them, I'd sent this to them, so it's not like I've worn them and then decided to show them pictures. They did offer me also the option of returning it back to the warehouse and getting a refund, but obviously it's not like I can get a pair of new shoes shipped to me or anything like that. They've already sold out. Plus, these are little defects that I can live with and I can fix. So what they did was they offered me a discretionary 10% off the retail price, so I got like £12 something off, which is pretty good actually, I reckon, given that I think with a lot of these limited edition shoes, they're all excluded from any kind of promo codes or anything that Nike offers. And I know some of you out there might be thinking, well, Mel, that's just really uptight of you, or you know, that you're just really stingy or whatnot. How can you be when you buy luxury and things like that? But it's precisely because I buy luxury that I can also afford to be a bit stingy. I am willing to fork out X amount of money for frivolous items, you know, gone to the wind. If I'm gonna blow my funny money on stuff, I may as well get it for as good a price as I can get. I know obviously these things are a flex. Let's call a spade, even more of a flex in my opinion, to have them at a discounted price. So anyways, that is everything that I wanted to cover, show you guys in the video. And there are a few other releases that I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I get, and if I do get them, I will be sure to show you guys if you're interested in seeing more on this. So anyways, I will leave it here for today, and I will catch you in my next one.